The U.S. men's national team, the three-time winners of Nations League, eliminated last night. So we are handing out some player ratings. And we're going to start with the first one, the obvious one, Christian Pulisic.
Look, by his lofty standards this season, I felt for him. I was frustrated for him. So I'm going to give him a frustrated 5 because he was a player that was left to do it on his own. He looked like the only person that was trying to make things happen in the final third. But, you know, it'd be a bit too harsh for me to give him a 3 or a 4, but I say a 5.
I'm going to 6 because, you know, when you look at Christian Pulisic, it's a matter of, is he able to affect the game? And the answer to me yesterday is still yes. Because if Patrick Agyemang buries the chance on the cutback, we're talking about a completely different scenario. Again, I think there are some tactical issues that force Christian Pulisic to be played out of the game. But overall, not a great performance, but not a terrible one via effort from Christian Pulisic.
I had the exact same reasons as you. He was still trying to create. He was still going 1v1. If that's a goal, we talk about this game a little bit differently. It's not so much of a deficit. So I think a 6. The pressure that he has to come in and lead this team is unimaginable to me, and I feel for him. But he's did what he could do yesterday.
Weston, McKennie.
I'm going to go 4. I wasn't really impressed with Weston's performance, and there was a bit of confusion that I saw in him of where to be. He's playing in this attacking midfield position that he's playing with Juventus, and I just thought Poch got it wrong in terms of Weston looked like a chicken with his head cut off, running around. Okay, am I going to go out wide? Okay, do I come back and help? And Weston is a player that he's at his best with the national team in particular when he is running from deep starting positions and getting forward in beyond Josh Sargent or Patrick Agyemang. And I just didn't think he impacted the game. He had one shot from the right-hand side where he cut it in on his left, and he's hit it right at Mosquera. But outside of that, Agyemang pass as well is another one. But I just wanted more influence other than those 2 moments.
For the same reason that Christian Pulisic gets a 6, he gets a 6 as well. Because if Patrick Agyemang bangs that one home, you're talking about Weston McKennie's performance in a completely different light. This is a ball that is played through the lines, and Patrick Agyemang should score this one. So for me, games like this are all about moments here. This is not the ideal performance. In my opinion, he was dragged out too far to the left. But again, that was a tactical error on the coach's point from my standpoint. Weston McKennie gets a 6.
I'm going right in the middle. I was thinking a 5 for those reasons. He was trying to solve the issues in the middle of the pitch, trying to make up groundwork, especially on the left side, trying to be a support player. But it was so chaotic that there's even moments where I'm like, I don't even know where he went or what he was doing in these moments, but he was trying. So I'm going to give him a 5.
Striker Josh Sargent.
2.
Oh.
2, brother.
It's fair.
Your job is to score goals.
Yeah.
Right? We don't.
It doesn't matter who's injured.
Look, maybe I didn't have my coffee this morning, which I didn't have my coffee this morning, but your job is to score goals. The chance that he gets, you got to put that away.
Big opportunity.
You got to put that away. That is why you were in the team. That is why Poch gives you this start. And it's unfortunate because he thought this was his moment. Timo Weah caught offside in the initial run. But when you get Panama, who is a side that doesn't give up many opportunities. The ball bounces to you, you gotta put the other chance that he has away. And like I said, I looked more off my seat. I think Panama looked like they had more to worry about. When Patrick Agyemang is on, that's casual from Josh Sargent. There has to be more conviction to get that over the line when there's bodies in and across. So I'm gonna give him a 2.
Jalil?
Yeah, I'm giving him a 4. You know, there's just something that isn't quite right when it comes to vibes, confidence, when he comes in with the national team. Because it's now been a repetitive story of balling in England and then come into the national team, and he doesn't look comfortable. I don't know what it is. But I've seen players like this, especially strikers, where for whatever reason, whatever environment, they're not quite comfortable.
Could it be that he knows that he's not the top choice and that he's filling a role?
I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make
sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. It just, I don't know. Sometimes you just psychologically can't get certain monkeys off your back. And that's exactly what I feel we're seeing with Josh Sargent with the national team.
Blessing and curse of being a forward. When you're on, everybody loves you. You're leading the team. When you're off, you have moments like this, and I think it's psychological when he's with the men's national team because these are very simple things that you do repetitively over and over again in training. He does it with club, and there's just something, I don't know if it's the pressure, it's the nerves that get to him in these moments where he just kind of goes into a shell of the player that we see when he's with club. I am also going to give him a 4 because I think the effort's there. It's just that roller coaster of emotions that you're on as an attacker.
A bright spot, for sure, was Timothy Weah.
Another player who, look, we're talking about effort, we're talking about getting him behind. I'm going to give him a 5 because he did get runs in behind, but the lack of quality in the final third just wasn't there.
Yeah, I think you're looking at a 5.5. He did what he could, but again, tactically on the left-hand side, the game was not managed well.
I'm going a 6. I think he did what he could. He was going 1v1. He was putting crosses in. He put in a shift. I think he did the best of what he could do with what was given.
The manager, Mauricio Pochettino, what grade are you giving him?
I'm giving him a 2. A 2, right? Disappointment for the result. And it's not doomsday quite yet, but tactically, he got outclassed by Thomas Christensen. He got found out in his first competitive match, and he'll get better, hopefully. So a 2.
Yeah, I give it 3.5. He was off the mark.
0.5s. I didn't know we
I
could do that.
We don't do 0.5.
Okay, 3.
So I'm sold.
Sorry, Lahoud, 3.
Lahoud's a little scarred from this. I'm also going to give him a 2. I think for what a prolific manager you are and the teams that you've coached, this could have been so much better looking at who you brought in, how you put them in plugged into situations. You didn't put your players up to be the most successful or the most confident in this match.
And that's a brilliant point because I think when U.S. fans heard Mauricio Pochettino is coming to manage the U.S. men's national team ahead of a World Cup, it was almost like, oh, we're so lucky to have you. Well, that doesn't excuse you from performances like this. So it begs the question, what do the three of you need to see in the third place game that would change this mood right now and have you feeling better, if not confident, in this squad? Is there anything that can happen?
If we need a goal, I don't want to see Jack McGlynn to be the person trying to get us a goal. Jack McGlynn's a good young player, but you have two creative midfielders in Gio Reyna and Diego Luna on the bench, and you put in Jack McGlynn? Brother, what mate are you sipping? Give me Diego Luna or Gio Reyna next match. That's all I want.
From the players, what would change your mind about how you're feeling this morning about the U.S. men's national team?
I don't know if something would change my mind, but I know what I want to see. I want to now see players that have earned their stripes to get in, to get a call up, to play. I want to see Zach Steffen play. I want to see Max Arsene play.
Yeah.
I want to see Brian White play. Because the time is ticking where certain players that are not quite first choice, clearly locked in with Penn, they're not going to get too many opportunities for us to have confidence that when it comes to the World Cup, they are going to be confident themselves.
Mentality. How is the team going to overcome this huge disappointment that we're spending 3 segments talking about today, and we're probably all going to talk about next week? How are they going to overcome this? How do you show up in the game, the third place game? Whoever is on the field, it doesn't matter to me. How does this mentality change, and how are we going to put some goals away? Another
thing I want to see, too, is just moments of coming together.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you give up a goal that's unfortunate, even late in the game, who is saying, all right, hey, everybody come together?
Who should that person be? If it's not Christian Pulisic, who should it be?
It don't matter. It don't matter. It could be Weston. It could be Weah. It could be someone from the bench. It could be Tim Ream. It doesn't matter. But someone in those moments who's getting everybody together, and then you can see guys making certain plays where it's like, nah, I'm doing this on behalf of that dude. I'm doing this on behalf of that dude over there. And then subsequently, I'm dominating my one-on-one situation, and then we're getting better, and then we're getting in a goal-scoring opportunity. Even if it's late, you can score 2 goals in 30 seconds.
Yeah. I want it to be Christian. I want him to be pissed, because when he gets pissed,
he should get the captain's armband then.
I want it to be Christian.